Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushai Ba'ashem, Harakak Wadash. Double honors, of course, to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, taught us this truth, and are the true elders of all Israel, whether you receive that or not. Um, Honors to you. I came out there doing this work of truth and sincerity, presenting your bodies living sacrifice uh, to bring out this 144% truth to the hopeful elect who be scattered abroad the four winds, who may even look like the heathen nation, but go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and lineage, through their father's side, of course, as well as the shalom to the hopeful one-third, which consists of men, women, and children. EndTimeHeadlines.org, it says Russian ships and submarines spotted near site of Nord Stream 2 blast just days ago. Russian Navy ships and submarines were spotted not far from the Nord Stream pipeline before they were blown up in an act of suspected sabotage by Moscow. European security officials say the Russian Navy support ships on Monday and Tuesday at the vicinity of where four leaks in the Nord Stream gas pipeline have since emerged. Russian submarines were also seen not far from the area in the Baltic Sea last week. CNN reports European security officials said it is yet unclear whether any of these craft were involved, but say the possibility is being investigated as the sightings cast further suspicion on Russia being behind the attacks. A second hole has been found in the Nord Stream pipeline today, close to the large hole discovered in Nord Stream 1 a few days ago. It means there are now two holes in each pipe, two of which are located in Swedish waters and two in Danish waters. Sweden's Coast Guard said today emergency crews are continuing to inspect the gas lines ahead of mission below the waves to try and stop some leaking thousands of tons of gas into the Baltic Sea and work out what exactly happened. So, hey man, you know, these are subversive acts of war, being perpetrated by Esau Edom against each other, And one second. Salakia. Slack family. Hey, this is Mark chapter 3 and verse 24 and 25. And this is related, this is Yahushai. You see what I'm saying? And it says, if a kingdom be divided against itself, the kingdom cannot stand. And we have to understand, in the eyes of the public, Russia and America look like separate kingdoms, separate entities, separate people, separate languages, and separate cultures. But at the end of the day, this is Esau's tactic in order to dissuade and confuse the public into thinking that this could be so. They're all Edomites. They all lack melanin because they all come from the same forefather and progenitor Esau Edom. You see what I'm saying? They cannot hide from this fact. They can speak different languages, they can have different cultures, but at the end of the day, their skirt is being lifted up to the Heavenly Father. And you're seeing the wickedness and tactics. You see what I'm saying? When they came together, the Southern Kingdom out of, the west coast of Africa, they were in hegemony with each other to an extent. Now, they act as if they are mortal enemies, and what we're really witnessing is a power struggle for supremacy in their so-called New World Order. They all want to be the pinnacle of power. You see what I'm saying? No Edomite is better than another. You see what I'm saying? And this is what Jacob has to understand. Um, you know, because even as some so-called Israelites, they root for Russia and act like Putin is so fucking great and special because he said some words about how America used to treat black people. But guess what? That's a fucking subtle tactic that even the Chinese and North Korean use when they try to justify their fucking evil and wickedness, as if to say, "Oh, well, we didn't fucking grab the Negro, Latino, Native American." No, I mean that's the principal thing that they did that was off. However, the fact still remains that they're Edomites and they're fighting for power. You see what I'm saying? Is what you have to realize is Esau Edom has been given the world and the fatness thereof through his gift of the sword. So now that he's fucking, destabilized South America, now that he's, garnered control over the heathen nation, i.e. Moab and Ammon and, these others who act like they're very powerful, but they don't go to war with Esau Edom, and they're not going to until Russia tells them to. Because they fear the Edomite. You see what I'm saying? So you're witnessing a power struggle between two Edomite nations trying to fight for supremacy. The U.S. being the military arm of the beast, and Russia being that dark horse that's not a part of the beast. Why? Because it wants supremacy. So you're looking at two sides of the same coin. It's heads and heads, or it's tails and tails, because at a 10,000 degree view, Russia and America are no different. They are two global superpowers with thermonuclear ICBM capabilities that can fire globally anywhere. They have advanced militaries, super advanced communication systems, and they both want to control and be that superpower. Now, this seems like some old ass shit, but you got to understand, Esau Edom, one of the characteristics of Esau Edom is that he is never satisfied. It's not enough to just be a global superpower. It's not enough just to be strong enough to have your people safe. It's not enough to have the wealth that these nations do. It's not enough to house the secrets of who the Israelites truly are, as you see in the Russian icons, of the earlier centuries, depicting the Israelites as dark-skinned people, before Edomite European rape, robbery, and murder lightened us up and split us up even more. The Most High already did. But the fact still remains is, you have a kingdom divided against itself, man. And this is what we have to understand. So we are now coming into Matthew 24, man. We are seeing the beginning of sorrows. And it says, I'll start at verse 4. Yahushua answered and said unto them, this red letter, so this is what he said. He said, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. So you have all these different, you have the Russian Orthodox Church, you have the Roman Catholic Church, you have the American Evangelical fucking Midwest Church, you have the Southern Baptist Church, you have, myriad of different denominations from Mormon to fucking Jehovah's Witness here in Babylon. So there's many so-called coming in the name of the book, but not even having the true name. You should have deceived many. There's billions of Christians on the earth that are not the Christians of the Bible, so to speak, which was a derogatory word to Israelites, who were, in Rome at the time. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, and this is what we're hearing. We're seeing rhetoric of Russia's possibly going to use some tactical nukes here in the coming weeks against Ukraine, because Putin is seeing that, yes, his military can beat the Ukrainian military, but as long as you are fighting a people that is continually willing to fight, you're fighting ideals, and no sword can beat ideals. You can kill a man, but he will die believing what he believes. This is what I learned in the military. If you kill a Muslim, he is going to die praying to Allah. You are not going to change that. You see, Esau had some luck beating out the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from us, but he had to hide the history as well. He had to perpetuate many different things on top of that, which they can't do in modern times. You have the internet, you have the unicorn, and principally you have the men of the Lord on the highways and byways. So Esau is not able to do what he did, a few centuries ago with, Jake on those slave ships. So you're fighting people who believe that they're Ukrainian, that they have the power to call themselves Ukrainian, and you cannot fight an ideal. This is what a Russian admiral once said about trying to fight, the Mujahideen or the Islamic State, man. You cannot beat an ideal. You see what I'm saying? A man will die believing what he believes. If you believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai with your whole and true heart, even if they kill you, you will die believing in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And if you believe in fucking, Scientology or fucking Mormonism or any this, that, and the third, you're going to die believing that. So they're fighting a futile war. So what does that mean? They're going to be pushed into a corner where it's like, hey, if we don't do what the U.S. did and you fucking nuke these motherfuckers, and well, they have tactical nukes with smaller warheads and lighter payloads. You see what I'm saying? To fucking demoralize the fighting spirit, of the Ukraine. Then they're going to be stuck in a fucking war that is going to cost them billions of dollars because they're going to have Western help. They're going to have fucking secret special operations soldiers from all these NATO countries fighting alongside these Ukrainian fucking people, along with these fucking mercenaries. A lot of the fucking fighting isn't even by Ukrainian citizens at this point. See what I'm saying? So Russia understands that in order to stop this, they're going to have to fucking take that fighting spirit. And the only way to do that is with the ultimate sword Esau's been blessed with, which is, the thermonuclear ICBM, which is going to be used here very shortly on Babylon, but maybe even in the Ukraine as well, on a smaller scale with their so-called tactical nukes. And all this is why? Because Esau is a house divided against himself, as we read in the book of Mark. And a house divided against itself cannot stand. Like I said at camp the other week, man. People think like, well, yeah, you can be divided and da-da-da-da-da. And think about you really dividing your house. You know what I'm saying? You divide it down a center line. Well, somebody's going to get the kitchen and somebody's going to get the bathroom. And if you're trying to hedge your power, you'd be like, well, you can't use the bathroom. And, well, you can't cook. So now this guy's got to hold the shit all day, and fucking you're gonna starve. So a house divided literally cannot stand. Think about what happens when your foundation breaks. You see, or if there's cracks in your foundation, you have to get expensive as home repair because your house is in jeopardy of what? Collapsing. So what you're seeing now is the perpetual collapse of Esau Edom, and it's a beautiful thing to see. You're not seeing Esau Edom go into South America and try to, overtly fucking destroy, one of the tribes. You're seeing Esau Edom literally fighting a bloody war against himself because he has too much. He has too much power. So now it's a struggle for who's going to be the dominant Edomite society in the world to come. Don't be fooled, man. Don't be fooled, man. Russia and China are both looking for a central bank digital currency as well. So the ultimate goal of the elites that are pulling the strings behind these nations is that central bank digital currency. These nations are just fighting for supremacy, which is aligning with Matthew 24. It's the beginning of sorrows. And it says, "You shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, see that you be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." And we know that is why. Because until they push the MOTB, World War III cannot fully come into to fashion. For nation shall rise against nation, which you're seeing, and kingdom against kingdom, which you're seeing, and famines. We just did a video on, the head of a food company talking about the Biden administration using inflation as a war tactic against the American public. So why you have to ask yourself, even if you don't believe in this truth, why is the presidential administration waging economic warfare on the citizenry of the United States of America? Because they don't want you to be able to survive. They don't want you to be able to fucking, buy some supplies. They want you to be able to spend. They want you to spend all your money at the grocery store, so you can't buy that extra case of water. So you can't buy that extra fucking 10-pound bag of rice. So you can't buy, some fucking, water cleaning fucking utensils. They are trying to destabilize you to the point where when they push this MOTB, you are so hungry, thirsty, and fucking beat down and worn out that you just take it. And pestilences. Every week it's a new thing now. People ain't going for that COVID shit no more. People are not going for that COVID shit no more. People are, barely going for this monkeypox thing. Because it's only being seen on random people on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Which could very well easily be fucking... We understand that Hollywood makeup is fucking incredibly fucking useful. And you can look like you're fucking half dead. After a fucking 3-hour makeup session. You lay in your living room and even the cops, until they check your pulse, will think you're fucking dead and gone. All through makeup, So society doesn't believe in their government anymore. And this is what the government understands. They fumbled too much. Too much information has been leaked. They have continually shown that they're against the people and for profit and money. Why? Because they're Edomites, man. You have to understand the history in order to understand the mystery. As Apostle Gabar has said, you have to understand the history of the Edomite. They have been always infighters. They are always ready to look at the Ides of March. You know, Caesar was the ruler over the people, right? And guess what? The fucking, you know, his senators couldn't have it. They wanted more power. So what they do? They fucking killed him. You know, and so are the famous words "et tu, Brute," because you know, to Caesar he thought Brutus was his guy, but Brutus fucking was there too to fucking stab him in the back, man. You know, which he probably had a homosexual relationship with Brutus, but that's neither here nor there. You know, the fact remains is we have to. This is why you have to give diligence to make your calling and election sure. You have to study to show thyself approved, because you don't want to just spew fucking random bullshit. You see what I'm saying? You need to speak up rightly in this truth. You know, you need to speak the words that cannot be refuted, and the words that cannot be refuted is the calling cards of Esau. He's insatiable. This is a fight for power. This is a fight for Edomite supremacy. You know, these are subversive acts of war against each other. You know, these Edomite look at the nations on this graphic right here. You have Norway, Edomite, Finland, Edomite, Estonia, possible Edomite, Russia, we know Edomites, Belarus, definitely Edomites, Germany, Edomites, Sweden, Edomites, Denmark, Edomites, UK, Edomites, Netherlands, Edomites. So what is that telling you? You know, they're not bombing a pipeline in South America, because you could just as easily get gas in North or South America, Alaska, fucking the eastern and western seaboard here in Babylon. Canada has oil as well. You see what I'm saying? This by no means is that place the oil just rich over us. It is strategically trying to destabilize a perceived enemy. This is subversive acts of war being perpetrated by the Edomites. Now it could be a NATO country that's some Navy SEALs. Every established military has a form of what we in the U.S. know to be Navy SEALs. Basic underwater demolition specialists. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's called BUDS, basic underwater demolitions. So this has been a fact of war since World War II, even World War One. Hey, if we fucking get too close to this big ass ship that the German or whoever so and so has, they'll blow us out the fucking water and we'll sink. But if we send a fucking underwater submarine and then let the SEALs out pretty close to it, and we fucking attach some thermite or some fucking type of explosive to the bottom of the ship, we can blow them up and fucking escape, and we don't get blown up as well. You know, they learned these things in World War II. So the same thing can be done to infrastructure, pipelines, whatever have you. So these are subversive acts of war being done by Esau Edom. And we know a house divided cannot stand. You know? So with that, Yahweh Shem Yahushai Ratazah, you were edified. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Ha'arakah Kodash. Double honors, of course, to the apostle, known as a great millstone, who ruled well and taught us this truth in all sincerity. Honors to you, Akim, doing this work of truth and sincerity, presenting your bodies living sacrifices to bring out this 144% truth to the hopeful elect Akim that may be scattered abroad the four winds, as well as a shalom to the hopeful 1/3, which consists of men, women, and children. You know, and to the to the speckled bird brothers that may look like the heathen but go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the lineage, man. To you we say shalom.